Hello everybody, it's Dimitris again. We're gonna have another session, as I promised, about lazy loading images. So far we have one template that we created in the previous sessions. And now what we want to do is install one plugin and play with a way to lazy load images. So okay, let's see how that is gonna happen. Let me just remove something here. Right, so in order to begin, you have to go to github/ttc-freebies/plugin responsive images, and then once you get there, go to the releases and download the version 101.zip. Once you have this, you can just install it. The similar way that everything's happening in Joomla. So you say browse, you go to your downloads, open, and that's it. The plugin is installed. The plugin is installed, but you have also to enable it. So okay, the plugin now is enabled. So what this plugin is doing is something pretty simple. Let me just go and remove some stuff because I used to do a test before. So what it's doing basically is creating one folder under the folder media, which is called cast resp images, and then it has a structure similar to the root folder of your Joomla installation. So let's say if you upload an image to /images/banners, then you're gonna have some more images created automatically for you here. So what are all these images? So basically this is the same image, but in different resolutions. It's the same aspect ratio as the original. So this is the original, right? And this is the 320. That means the width of the image is 320 pixels. This is the 480. This is the 768 pixels wide, 992, 1200 pixels, 1600 pixels, and 1920 pixels. This is full HD if you like. So okay, let's remove that and see how all this is working right now. So if we go to the admin and let's say we go to this, the default data that we installed with Joomla. I haven't touched it anyhow. So let's go here and place the marker at the beginning. Go to image and then say I want to upload an image. Right, before we go there, I just went to unsplash.com and I've downloaded already, I think is this one or this one, the image that we're gonna use, and yeah, I think it's this image. from Cosmic Traveler. So all credits go to Michel Tokuno. All the images is here, his images. So let's go back. We already downloaded this file, so we have it in our downloads. As you see, the image has a size of 6.5 megabytes. If most people will say you have to resize this before you upload it to your website. This is bullshit. If somebody is ever telling something like that to any user or client for the website, they don't know nothing about user experience. When you take a photo in your mobile phone, it will never ask you to just resize it because it cannot be stored or whatever, right? So whenever somebody wants to upload an image, it needs to be uploaded as the original image, as the image with the attributes that this image was taken, like the original image. So always upload the original image, right? So we upload the original image and then we say insert it. Something strange happens here is that the image is huge, right? Okay, so I'm gonna save this, right? And let's go to our website. So this is our website, and what we were editing before, it was this welcome to your blog, right? So welcome to your blog. Let's go there. Right now, as you see, it takes very, very long time to load the page. And this is okay because what is happening in reality is that the code read this image, right? The original, it's pretty big, and then went and created 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 images. So let's have some comparison here because this is more interesting, I guess. So the original image was 6.5 megabytes, and the full HD, which is 1920 pixels times 1080 or something like that. Yeah, it's 1920 times 1280 pixels. And this one just weighs 400 kilobytes. So depending on the width, probably your users will load up to 283 kilobytes instead of the original, which was 6.2 megabytes. So just by using this little plugin, we are already almost there. So what this plugin did here, right? So let's see what happened here. Right, so it says that the source is null and the source set is null. Okay, that's interesting. Let's try that again. Right, okay, so yeah, no. Yeah, so let's remove this. Right, so here is the image. Let's inspect that and see. Basically, let's see the network tab. So the network tab of Chrome Canary says that we are using an image. Where's the image? Here's the image. And the image has a size. Where's the size? No, that's not the one. That's the one. It's 277 kilobytes. So think a little bit what's happened here. I've uploaded one image at the original resolution, and I'm already serving this as a very, very good performant image with only 277 kilobytes. The most important part is that if I resize, let's take this thing out so you can see it better. So as you see right now, the image is only 29 kilobytes. Why? Because we're using one thing called source set. So images by default have a source, which is just one path to the image, and then you can have a source set, which is like an array. If you like to make a comparison towards JavaScript or PHP, which means that you have different paths defined by numbers like 320W. What does this 320W mean? So 320W basically means it's gonna be 320 pixels wide. So as you see, this is how this is working out. So depending on the width of the window, another image will be loaded. I guess we can simulate this. If I start, yes. You see how it's working? So depending on how wide is the browser, how wide is the rendering screen of the browser, the correct image, not the correct, the appropriate sized image will load. And that's fine. That's fine only like that. I mean, only by using this plugin you're almost there. The only problem is that images have a source, as I said before, and the source, as we said in the last session, whenever the browser sees a source attribute, it says, oh, this is something I need to fetch. And that's something that it's gonna happen on the timing that we don't want. So basically we want to alter a little bit this pretty script, which is nothing too fancy. And what we're gonna do is instead of source, I'm gonna say data-source. I'm gonna duplicate this line. I'm gonna say remove. So I'm setting. Okay, this doesn't work like that. I'm setting the data dash source, I'm removing the original source, and instead of setting the source set, I'm gonna say data dash source set, right? So it's just 3 lines changed. So what's gonna happen? The image disappeared. Why? Because we have data source, and data source doesn't mean anything to the browser. Same for the data source it. So if I just do this, boom, the image is there. If I do also this, boom, the right sized image is there. So what we need to do is to have some JavaScript on the client side, which says, okay, don't load anything at the beginning, but once you have done loading the page, just take out the data source and make it source, and take out the data source it and make it source it. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward. The script, what I'm doing is I'm waiting for the DOM content loaded. That means that the DOM has completed. I'm collecting all the images, all the IMG tags, and then I loop through. This is comment out. It's if you want to go. If the data dash source doesn't exist, you shouldn't be doing anything, or something like that. And then, we just flip the data source to source. Actually, we create a source from the data source, and we create a source set from data source set. So let's try this out and see if something happens. Okay, I guess that's why I commented this out, because that is wrong. Right, so it works. That means that we have already lazy loaded images. That means that if this JavaScript doesn't execute for some reason, there is no image, because it's lazy loaded, and lazy loaded depends on JavaScript, right? Right, so one thing is that okay, so this will be like that. Not like that, like that. Yeah, right, so this will work for all cases right now. Okay, so there are a couple of things here that needs some attention, but I'm gonna leave that for you. I'm gonna explain what needs to be happening here to have this as bulletproof solution. But I'm not gonna do it because later on I have a meeting for Joomla 4, and that's quite important, so I have to attend there. Right, so the problem is that without JavaScript, we have something like let's simulate this. All right, so let's go to Safari, disable JavaScript. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Okay. that shouldn't be happening. Okay, that's freaking. Okay. Although I wrote this plugin some long time ago, I don't remember if I have a fallback. Anyway, the idea is that this shouldn't be working right now without JavaScript. This is pretty weird that it's working. Yeah. Anyway, so the normal markup for this is something like that. You have the let's go to sources. Yeah, and let's make this a little bit readable. Right. So this is what we deliver to the browser. Just a data source with just a 320 pixels wide image, and the data source is all the rest of the sizes and the widths. So yeah, basically that's it, and that's not. It shouldn't be possible to read this without JavaScript. So I sincerely don't understand what Firefox is doing here. Safari. That's interesting. I have no clue. And also it's serving the 6.2 megabytes, which is, yeah, okay, that's something crazy is happening. Anyway, so the idea is, I'm not gonna lose any time with with Safari. So the idea is to have the same thing that we were doing with our CSS. If you remember, for the CSS, to have them lazy loaded, we actually did something and put it inside the no script. So basically that's the same idea that needs to be applied here. The images should be inside the no script tag. So even if you don't have JavaScript enabled in your browser, then the image should render correctly. And if you have JavaScript, you just do the parsing and execution basically similar to what we have here. Instead of link, it's gonna be image, etc., etc. Instead of type, it's gonna be the sourced, blah blah. It's exactly the same thing. So that's why I said it's pretty easy as if you want to spend some time and try to figure out how you can do it, which is a very good idea to try and see how improve your skills, maybe depending on your skill set. But it's a good way to go around and figure out why things are happening, etc., etc., which is the best way to learn anything new. So basically, that's what I wanted to post today. Is a recap here. We just installed one simple plugin, which is less than 200 lines. You can go and download it directly from github/ttc/freebies/plugin responsive images. Get the latest release. So we did that, and then we just played, and this is a no-go. This actual script shouldn't be here. I was just lazy. So this script, I guess, should be here. And also you should check that you actually have images, because if you don't have images, there's no reason to load the script. Yeah, the script is loading. So yeah, basically this is the only code that I actually did, is that I'm waiting for the DOM to be completed, to be loaded. I'm collecting all the images with slice called document query selector all for the image tag. I'm using a for each loop, and I'm checking if the data-source attribute is set or not. If it's not, I'm just returning, because that might be another image which doesn't fall into this category. And then if not, we're gonna just flip the data source with the image source, and the data source set with the image source set, and that's it. It's working. It's a great idea. It's basically how you should be doing images in 2018. You should load. First of all, you should allow your users to upload whatever they want. They shouldn't be responsible to crop and copy, crop things, yeah, and trim. So do it automatically, please. There is, as I said, there is one drawback with this plugin. This plugin is if the image, if this cast images doesn't exist, it means that every time that you load something and it needs those images, it's gonna create them. And that means that for the first time that you're loading a page that contains new images, the load time of that page is gonna be huge. There is a way to go around this, because Joomla is pretty good on this, and it has 2 events on media upload, yeah, something like that. I don't remember the events right now. So yeah, you can do all this processing, not directly when the image is displayed inside an article or wherever, but you can do that thing directly when the user uploads the image to the server. So again, always allow the user to upload the original image. Make sure that you deliver the appropriate sized image, and make sure that the image is loaded after the DOM has loaded. So that's it basically. Yeah, it's pretty simple concept, and by doing that, you increasing immensely the user experience of your clients and your possible users that they have. So that's it from me for today. I said this is gonna be a short one. Join me next time. We will do some more work on images, audio, video, and stuff like that. And also we will dive into web fonts, how to use them, why not use Font Awesome or other strange icon fonts, etc., etc. Right, so join me next Monday, same time. Till then, have fun and see you next Monday. See ya. Bye.